Whoa, that was scary. So you guys might be wondering, what is tuberculosis, right? Let me break it down for you.
Tuberculosis is a bacterial infection, primarily in lungs, caused by an airborne bacteria known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This bacteria infects the macrophages during phagocytosis to invade our immune system. The infected macrophages will become a host for this bacteria to actively multiply and damaging the surrounding lung tissues. On top of that, these microbes are able to spread to the other parts of the body, including kidneys, spine, and brains through the bloodstream or lymphatic system. This type of infections is known as extrapulmonary TB, in which the individuals will possess symptoms beside the main symptom that we will see later in this video.
That was terrifying, don't you think? Now let's surf through the chronology of tuberculosis in Malaysia to see how we endure these horrifying and deadly infections.
Before the independence of Malaysia, pre-1957, TB was widespread, especially in crowded areas and among workers. There were limited healthcare and treatment options. Thus, TB became one of the major health issues among Malaysians. In 1953, BCG vaccines were introduced to protect newborns. However, in the 1990s to 2000s, TB made a resurgence and experienced mutations. In this period of time, TB cases spiked due to HIV or AIDS cases, and even because of the mutation of the TB microbes itself that causes the existence of drug-resistant TB. To overcome this, in 1995, the World Health Organization recommended treatment monitoring, so Malaysia adopted the DOTS strategy as a treatment for tuberculosis. Starting from 2010 until present time, Malaysia have a better modern control on this disease. In this period, a new rapid diagnostic tools, namely Gene Expert, were introduced. Despite all the developed medical technology for TB, this disease remains as a public threat for Malaysia up until now. And we still have some large rooms for improvement in terms of medical accessibility and also the treatment.
Did you guys know that there has been a noticeable increase in TB cases in Malaysia each year? Malaysia recorded 26,781 cases of TB in 2023, a 5.47% increase from the 25,391 TB cases reported in 2022. According to the World Bank, the incidence of TB in Malaysia has been rising over the past 2 decades. Since 2004, the incidence of TB has been on upward trend.
Symptoms of active TB disease depend on where in the body the TB germs are growing. The germs usually growing in the lungs, which is pulmonary TB. Active TB disease in the lungs may cause symptoms such as a bad cough that lasts 3 weeks or longer, pain in the chest, clogging up blood, or sputum from deep inside the lungs. Other symptoms of active TB disease are weakness, weight loss, no appetite, chills, fever, and sweating at night. People with inactive TB do not have symptoms of TB disease. However, without treatment, they can develop active TB disease and become sick.
So you guys might be wondering, what is the causes of tuberculosis? Tuberculosis causes by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It primarily affects our lung but can be spread to the other parts of our body. Next, how does TB spread? TB spread to the airborne transmission when another person breathes in the droplet of infected person that cough, sneezes, achoo, and also a person that having vocal interaction with person that have TB might have higher chance to get TB. There are also risk factors that increase the TB infection. First, weakened immune system like people with HIV, AIDS patient, diabetics, malnutrition individual have a really high risk of active TB. Next, people who live in a poor living condition involving crowded spaces such as prison, refugee camps, and homeless shelters which have lack of ventilation, this will increase the concentration of TB bacteria, just like this place.
Now, let's move on how TB is treated in Malaysia. In Malaysia, we have special treatment called DOTS. Directly observed treatment, short course. For this treatment, it only takes 6 months and only have 2 phases. For the first phase, it only takes 4 months and you need to take 4 kinds of medicine, which is this. Next, for the second phases, it only takes 2 months and it only has two kind of medicines that you need to take, which is this. The most important part is do not stop taking your medicine. If you stop taking your medicine, the bacteria will become stronger and harder to kill. We call it drug-resistant TB. And you need to suffer from 2 years because you need to take 4 stronger medicines, which is this. You hear me right? If you don't want to suffer from 2 years, you need to take your medicine every day. Do not skip your medicine for 6 months.
Okay, let's be real. Nobody wants to get tuberculosis, right? So, how do you stay safe from this sneaky disease? Well, I've got some easy but life-saving tips for you. First up, vaccination. The BCG vaccine is like a superhero shield for your immune system, especially for kids. It doesn't make you invisible, but it lowers your risk of getting TB. So, if you have that tiny scar on your arm from a jab when you were a baby, congratulations, you're already one step ahead. Next, let's talk about coughing manners. TB spreads into the air. So, if you need to cough or sneeze, you need to cover your mouth with tissue or your elbow. Not just achoo into open air like a wild animal. So, if you're sick, you should wear a mask to keep others safe. Finally, if you notice weird coughing that lasts more than 2 weeks, don't just ignore it and hope it goes away. Get checked. Early detection means easier treatment and less chance of spreading TB to others.